2020 was really just the extension of all the transformation that I'd already been through. It just got accelerated and magnified in 2020, to answer your question.
It was the big cherry on top.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, okay. All right. So let's talk a little bit about 2020. What point did you say, okay, this is the path? I want to go ahead and go down this path of franchising with Premier Martial Arts. I'm going to do this. Was that before the pandemic, after the pandemic? When?
It was before the pandemic, right? So I made my decision to join the franchisor in October of 2019, right? And I was going merrily along in terms of scouting sites and taking a look at different locations across the territories that, I have rights to, right? And I was actually right at the point where I had signed my letter of intent on my first location and going through the lease negotiation process. And I believe it was March 13th, the last day.
I know that day, really. Wow.
Call it non-COVID life, because I was volunteering as a assistant coach for my son's baseball team, right?
Yeah.
And, even then, right, we were out in the field and nobody was high-fiving. We were all doing glove taps and all this other good stuff, right? Because we knew the state of the world. And all of us coaches looked at each other and was like, well, if this is the last time that we get together, it's been a pleasure. And sure enough, the very next day, right, schools got closed, baseball season on hold, this, that, or the other, right?
Yeah.
And so I had to have a serious thought in terms of, okay, I'm on this journey. I've already made the commitment. My chips are in the pot, right? I can't do anything to control COVID, right? Yeah. What I can do is I can control how I interact in this COVID world, right? And the biggest thing that I did was I said, I made a commitment to bring these locations to life, because not only did I want to have an environment and have a means of financial wealth for my family, right? But I truly believe the purpose of Premier Martial Arts, which was I wanted to empower lives through martial arts. I can't do that if I don't have a site. I can't do that if I don't continue to do the work in order to bring these locations to life. So I just said, you know what, COVID, I respect you. I'm going to keep myself safe. I'm going to keep my family safe. They got to keep going. I got to keep moving, right?
Yeah.
You can't pause me from what I had already committed to. And that's really the attitude that I brought to this. And, for your viewers, right, wherever they are, that is what I would encourage them is, if it's circumstantial, right? COVID, while significant, is circumstantial, right? What are you doing to make sure you are not letting circumstances you can't control impact you, right? How are you taking this and saying, I'm going to control what I can control, and I'm going to put myself in a better position than yesterday?
That is a mic drop moment right there, Scott. Mm-hmm. Nice. Excellent. Beautiful. All right. So as you sit here today, as we're kind of landing the plane of 2020, whatever fashion it's going to land, I'm not quite sure yet.
I think the month of March is now blended into 8 months at this point. So something like that. Mm-hmm.
So what have you learned? Is there anything else that you've learned along this journey as you've been, getting these kind of your franchises kind of up and running, and anything else that's kind of really stood out for you?
The biggest thing that I've learned, particularly in this 2020 year, is that there is a wide spectrum of people, and that you may not entirely 100% align with every person that you meet, but you should respect everybody who is on the spectrum. I'll give you an example, right? As I think about my location in East Marietta, right? I've got a wide spectrum of people in terms of those people who will come to my school and will say, I would rather not wear a mask because it interferes with my ability to perform the moves, right? Which we say it's highly encouraged, but it is not required, right?
Yep.
And that's fine. I have a lot of my people in Marietta who come masks on, Yes, sometimes they got to take a break in terms of, saying, I just got to catch my breath, whatnot, right? But they still want that environment and they still appreciate all the safety things in terms of spacing out our mat, cleaning, et cetera, right? That we're doing to say, look, we can't control COVID, but we're going to make this a safe an environment for you because we don't want you holed up in the house. We want you to feel that this is a safe place for you to come and grow not only as a martial artist but as a professional, right?
Yeah.
And I've got a swath of people who have passed by and have said, you know what, I love what you guys have done. I love how we have been a part of your family, but we just got to take a pause as recently the COVID numbers are increasing, right? And I'm like, that's fine. I respect your opinion. And once everything is back to a state that you feel you can come back, the doors are open, right? And really, one of the things that our leadership up in Knoxville talks about is we're trying to make our environments as inclusive as possible, right?
Yeah.
We try to make it so that everybody feels welcome and that we can give that environment to others. So what's one of the biggest things that I've learned in 2020 to your question, right? The more that you can make yourself inclusive to others, the better you will have an opportunity to grow from them and to succeed. Please do not be closed-minded, right?
Yeah.
That would be my advice to others in terms of if you find yourself saying no, stop and think, why is it that you're saying no? Is the reason you're saying no a justifiable one? And if not, give it a pause and say, well, what if I said yes to this? What could happen?